Today on Fresno State Focus, find out how a local program is getting dirty needles off the streets.
Plus, find out how Fresno State students are given the opportunity to share different cultures on campus. Hello, and welcome to Fresno State Focus. I'm Marina Minas.
And I'm Angela Sasaki. Needle exchange programs are controversial. Healthcare workers say they prevent the spread of disease, but opponents say they promote drug use. Although the programs are prohibited in many counties, reporter Josie Rea tells us in Fresno there's a loophole that allows them to operate.
Handing out needles on the streets sounds dangerous and illegal, but it's actually not. The Fresno Needle Exchange Program is allowed under the California law. The goal is to get dirty needles off the streets along with the diseases they carry. This means that under California law, people who use the program will not be fined for having needles as long as they have a doctor's prescription saying they are allowed to have them. Director Dallas Blanchard says the program is helping clean up the streets.
The purpose of which being to stop the spread of HIV and hepatitis C and abscesses that you get from sharing needles. It also takes dirty needles off the streets because if we weren't around, once their syringes are no longer usable because the needle's messed up, the plunger's messed up, or whatever, they discard them.
Several Fresno State students volunteer for the program. Many say they do it because they know the program is worthwhile.
So for me, getting to see the impact that makes. Also, I work in the ER, so seeing the people who are able to receive treatment here and aren't waiting 12 hours in the ER and maybe interfering with others' care.
Many people are against this program simply because they're uninformed or they're not open to the idea that this program is useful at all.
Over the years, this program has been getting negative feedback from the community. The people who are part of this program have learned to stick to the rules to avoid giving law enforcement a reason to stop them.
Is that we're enabling people to use drugs, we're enabling them to continue their negative consequences of drug use. To which I would say we're enabling people to survive another day until they decide to quit using drugs.
While this program may continue to run as it has for the last several years, one thing is for sure, different viewpoints are inevitable. Josie Raya, Fresno State Focus.
More than 17,000 people are trafficked into the U.S. each year. Most of them are women and children. Now an organization called Made for Them is trying to stop human trafficking. Made for Them raises awareness about human trafficking through design, fashion, and the arts. They're holding an event this Saturday called Art of Freedom. Founder and president Andrea Shebeglian says the event is more than just a night out on the town.
And then you get to partner with an organization who has a hands-on approach to the survivors in our community and who's making a difference. So you get to really partner with us in our mission to combat human trafficking. It's a great event, and anybody who comes has a great time.
Made for Them gives survivors of human trafficking a chance to function in society through art. During the Art of Freedom event, guests will be given a blank canvas just like those who are rescued are given. Guests will create a masterpiece of their own, symbolizing the start of a new life. The Art of Freedom event is at a beautiful estate on Minnewawa this Saturday from 10 to 2. For ticket information, go to madeforthem.org/artoffreedom-Fresno.
The United States tops the list of the most obese countries in the world, with China a close second. More than 78 million people in the U.S. are obese, and over $100 billion is spent annually on the treatment of obesity related to diseases. Dana Lipkin looks into why foreign exchange students believe America is number one.
McDonald's, Taco Bell, and Wendy's, fast food restaurants that children seem to know the symbols of before they can even talk, and adults seem to be making a part of their everyday diet. It is said that more than 2/3 of U.S. adults are overweight, meaning 80 million people suffer from obesity, which has made it the leading public health problem. People from other countries who have only lived in America for a few years notice differences of junk food availability and portion sizes offered in the States.
I think the fact that there's so much processed food available and there's so many junk food restaurants and stuff, fast food is crazy. There's so many restaurants here. Literally, there's 5 on the corner over there. So I think that's probably like a huge thing. It's so much cheaper to buy junk here. So.
But more fast food and oily food, I guess. Like and the portion is so big, like compared to like Malaysia. Like Malaysia, everything is like small, but you come here like everything is like so big. That's why.
It's just easier to like get like go and buy food that's already prepared. It's really cheap compared to Denmark. Like the food in general is really expensive in Denmark. So for me, when I live by myself, it's just easier to go and buy food that's already prepared.
According to a British study last year, it is said that fat taxes would have to raise the price of unhealthy food by as much as 20% in order to decrease consumption by enough to reduce obesity. This big gulp right here has 500 calories, which means 35 teaspoons of sugar.
Earlier this year, the Washington Post explained that New York is the first state in the country that is fighting to put an end to obesity. They're not only eliminating artificial trans fats in restaurants, they are also currently working on banning oversized sodas. Yes, eating in your car is fast, easy, and convenient. It's cheap and it tastes good. But don't forget, your health is most important. Dana Lipkin, Fresno State Focus.
And foreign college students are not the only ones struggling with weight gain in the U.S. Fresno State registered dietitian Stephanie Annette is here to talk about American food cultures and how our busy lifestyles are connected to what some students call the freshman 15. Hello, Stephanie, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about obesity in America. I know it's a big issue right now, especially with the way things are going. We live in a very fast-paced environment. So a lot of times, especially nowadays, students feel like, or just everybody in general feels like they don't have time to cook. So would you feel that this is related in any way to the freshman 15 or to weight gain in general with students?
Absolutely. The number one thing, of course, students tell us for most of their health-related issues, including weight gain, is stress is the number one thing and lack of time. So we've done some studies to look at that.
Okay, what type of studies have you done?
We do every year a National Collegiate Health Assessment, and so we asked questions about just general health, exercise, eating, among other things. So, and stress is the number one, academic impediment. Also, too, when they come to see me, especially for counseling, stress is the number one thing that interferes with their eating healthy and exercising.
And what would you say the number one thing they're stressing about is?
A lot of it is time and time management, wanting more time to do some of the things that they want to do, towards their health, such as, making, maybe homemade meals versus going out to eat, and especially finding time to exercise.
Okay, and like you said, they're stressing about time management. How do you feel our new fast-paced lifestyle has changed our students' eating habits, or students' eating habits overall?
A big thing, of course, is people are eating more meals away from home than they have ever done before. So, and along with that comes sometimes maybe overeating some things. We usually try and limit in the diet, like fat or calories. Portion size just really does continue to be an issue. Restaurants are serving food. Restaurants in fast food are serving portions larger size. And if you're in a hurry and you are maybe not paying attention to how much you need to eat to feel full, people will often overconsume calories by eating larger portions quickly.
Okay, so and what would your advice be to students who are struggling with this issue, not having time to cook, but really want to eat healthier?
One of the things we tell Fresno State students, of course, there is free help available in the Student Health Center. I'm a registered dietitian, and I've been working with college students for 10 years, Fresno State students for 10 years, and we know a lot of the very, simple, easy to do things that help them eat better. It's very individualized. If they're eating out quite a bit, for example, just about everywhere you go, there are some things that are healthier and reasonable portions. I also talk with students too about using when they do have time, less time, less work. It could be on the weekends, it could be on a night they don't have class, to think about food preparation. Often they can make a couple meals at home that they have for their busier times.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us, Stephanie.
Thank you.
We've been speaking with Stephanie Annette from Fresno State, registered dietitian.
Fresno State is known for aiming for a diverse and inclusive campus. Members of the new Library Diversity Committee took their program a step further by reaching out to the community to encourage them to think about diversity and inclusion. Reporter Tia Vance attended the open house and has this report.
Diversity awareness. That's the goal of the Library Diversity Committee. The open house was created to continue conversations about diversity initiatives and to encourage staff and students to consider the importance of diversity. Co-chairs Jennifer Crow and Julie Moore agreed on why diversity should be considered and taken seriously.
If you see other people like yourselves in those power positions, it gives you that power too.
Diversity is embraced at events like this, and members are always excited for the opportunities they are given to share many cultures with the Fresno State campus. Grad student Giovanna Lopez feels it's important for people to stray away from closed-mindedness to allow us to appreciate different lifestyles.
We are very close to our own, right, to our own way, to our own things we know. So I think if we will open, like if we are open-minded, it will be something different.
Some of the members were raised to appreciate that the rich tapestry diversity that defines the region is one of the Central Valley's greatest strengths. With Fresno State, diversity is strongly reflected in its students, faculty, and staff, being essential to their academic excellence.
For guest speaker Arturo Mendoza, he feels diversity allows many to feel some sort of acceptance from the people around them. Mendoza says he is grateful to see opportunities like this being put to good use.
Part of diversity is being individual, being yourself, and looking for acceptance.
Anyone can attend the open house that takes place once a month on the second floor of the Henry Madden Library to showcase the work of other organizations working on diversity with the LDC. Tia Vance, Fresno State Focus.
Coming up on Fresno State Focus, find out how Deferred Action has helped Dreamers and how they are preparing to reapply.
Plus, find out about job opportunities offered on campus and why you need to know what you're getting into before you sign on the dotted line. All that when we come back.
So you decided to go to Fresno State. Good for you. But you were too insecure to show Fresno State pride? That's a problem. Because you never bothered to show pride in your school, you are shunned by other students. Professors can smell the stench of impending failure on you and take no pity. Even the mass communication students agree you have no future. But all of this could have been avoided if you simply showed your pride for Fresno State.
I am Fresno State.
Fresno State pride. Show it or face the consequences.
That's what gave rise to the DREAM Act.
Deferred Action was passed in 2012 to give eligible Dreamers an opportunity to live in the United States. The 2-year status provides temporary residence and a work permit for those who qualify. Reporter Martine Vargas shows us how the program works.
That's what gave rise to the DREAM Act. It says that if your parents brought you here as a child, you've been here for 5 years, and you're willing to go to college or serve in our military, you can one day earn your citizenship. And I've said time and time and time again to Congress that send me the DREAM Act, put it on my desk, and I will sign it right away.
2 years have passed since President Obama signed Deferred Action, and still no DREAM Act. Nearly 500,000 Dreamers have been approved for this status, but for some, this status is about to expire. Georgina Perez says Deferred Action has helped her in many ways, but before she was granted Deferred Action, she was stopped twice by the police. Both times, the cops could have let her go, but they impounded her car because she did not have a driver's license. To her, it was a minor violation, no harm done. Not having a license has been a big problem.
A lot of places know that if you're showing your passport is that you're not from here or you're not legal, or if you're showing your matricula, right, your Mexican ID, you're kind of letting them know that you have no right to be here.
With Deferred Action, Dreamers can obtain a driver's license as well as a social security number that can be used to work. When Deferred Action became a reality, Raul Moreno, Director of Migrant Services at Fresno State, put together a center where Dreamers can get help with their application process.
Immediately, we called for training. That was the first thing to do. Training directly from the Department of Homeland Security, the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. They came to Fresno State. We developed a coalition and started a Deferred Action Help Center.
Marisela Covarrubias is the director of the Deferred Action Center. She says the process for reapplying is similar to applying for the first time. The only difference is that dreamers don't have to send all their documents to prove they have been living here in the U.S. continuously for 5 years.
If they're reapplying, they have to submit their packets within 150 and 120 days prior to the expiration date.
With laws like Deferred Action, dreamers are able to have a brighter future and continue with their education. Martin Vargas, Fresno State Focus.
Each academic year, ASI hosts a weekly dinner for the community at Wesley United Methodist Church. This event, known as Base Camp, meets every week to feed those who have no place to eat. Many residents gather in the fireside room of the church to enjoy a nice cooked meal. Volunteer members of this event have noticed a positive change within the neighborhood since having these dinners and are proud that they are able to give a little extra back to those who need it. Base Camp coordinator Christy Sarter says she's happy the church is able to do something so life-changing.
We're very happy to know that on Thursday nights and Friday nights, if somebody needs something extra to eat, that there are places for them. So
the event is free and open to all community residents. Fresno State students can also be a part of this significant event. ASI hopes to recruit student volunteers to serve meals throughout the entire academic year.
100 years ago, the country of Armenia went through a brutal genocide, leaving the people of Armenia to flee to different cities all over the world. Till this day, Fresno holds one of the largest populations of Armenians, and the community has grown strong. Fresno State and the Armenian Studies program have come together to break ground on campus and build a monument in memory of the Armenian genocide. Today, I have Professor Barlow Dermurgadichian to tell us more about the Armenian genocide and the monument to be built. Hi Barlow, thank you for coming out here today.
Thank you.
So for those of us who don't know, I'm Armenian, you know that. But for the people who don't know, can you explain the Armenian genocide, what it was?
The Armenian genocide refers to the events which took place in Ottoman Turkey beginning in 1915 through 1923. And basically what happened is that the Armenian population of the Ottoman Empire was either deported or killed. And together that amounts to about 1.5 million people who were affected, actually were killed during that period, and then many thousands of others were deported.
Okay, and so do you have family from, are your parents straight from Armenia, or is it your grandparents?
My parents were actually born in America, born in Fresno, but my grandparents on both sides were survivors of the Armenian genocide.
Okay, so they came to Fresno from
Armenia, right?
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I have family from, just my mom's side, it's from Armenia to Fresno.
Right.
So what is this monument that's going to be built, and how did we get so lucky to get it here at Fresno State?
Well, there is an organization which was formed just about 1.5 years ago in the local area called the Armenian Genocide Centennial Committee of Fresno, which brings together all of the Armenian political, church, and other kinds of organizations. And one of their key projects to commemorate the 100th anniversary was to build a monument somewhere in Fresno. And so the Armenian Studies program proposed that that monument should be built here at Fresno State. And we've worked with Fresno State administration and the planning committee to get that passed and approved. And on November 2nd, we're having a groundbreaking for the construction of that monument.
Nice. So are a lot of people attending this groundbreaking monument for the monument?
We want to get out the word to as many people as possible. It's open to the entire community. You don't have to be Armenian to come and participate, because the monument is something that is going to be both educational, inspirational, and to also commemorate the Armenian genocide.
That's great. So I'm probably going to have a lot of students turn out then.
We would like to have students, everyone to come out.
Yeah, we have a big Armenian Studies program here too, don't we, on
campus?
Yes. Yeah. That's great. And so what is it going to look like exactly?
Well, we have a plan for the Armenian Genocide Monument. It's going to be 9 pillars in a sort of circular formation. It has a lot of representation and symbolism from Armenian history. It's going to have cultural and artistic elements, and it will be something that is not only dedicated to the Armenian genocide, but to the problem of genocide in the entire world, because there are other groups that are still facing that today.
Yeah, it was kind of like almost a Holocaust, the way Armenians, the genocide was.
Exactly, yes.
Okay, well, do you have anything else you'd like to add about it?
Well, it'll start, the groundbreaking will begin at 2:30 p.m. It's going to be in the area of the Maple Mall on Fresno State campus on Sunday, November the 2nd. And we're planning to begin construction sometime around Thanksgiving, and it should conclude on April 24th, 1915.
Sounds
2015.
Great. Thank you so much for coming out here today.
Thank you.
We've been speaking with Professor Barlow from the Armenian Studies program at Fresno State.
College is expensive. Many students are looking for ways to make some extra cash, but not every help wanted ad holds the key to cash. John Dix brings us this report.
All over campus, students pass flyers promising great opportunities. Some are legit and others not so much. Here's one for the Doghouse Grill, a local restaurant. Here's one for Page 128, an online company I'd never heard of. If you come across a company you never heard of, Rita Bakken-Fuso-Cohen from Career Services says you should check it out online.
If something seems a little bit off, does that company have a website? What does that website look like? Is there anything out there as far as reviews?
On the website for Career Services, there is a place at the bottom where you can get tips for the smart job seeker. Things like, if they want you to pay large sums of money but no experience is necessary, or if they're asking you to send money or want to charge you to give you a job lead, watch out. If the email address is something like Yahoo or Google, that could be a red flag. Back now to Page 128. I went to their website. On their homepage it says that there's a $25 starting bonus and that it's paid in the first check. Even I'm interested. I click on for more information and I am immediately taken to a page that asks for credit card information. They want to charge me a one-time fee to set up an account. But don't forget, they did say that there's a $25 starting bonus. It pays for itself. Bakken-Fuso-Cohen says that this is a common scam.
I tell you, we've had students that have lost money because of job search scams, and it breaks my heart. It's very hard to get you're not likely to get your money back because scammers know what they're doing.
If you are looking for work, there are places on campus that might better suit you.
You can go to work and go to class all in one place, and then of course, like if you get off work and you have 2 hours till you go to class, you can get your homework done, especially like in the library. Perfect.
If a student does find that they have been a victim of a scam, there are things that they can do.
Well, if they've given money and they've done it through a credit card, they can stop payment on the credit card. If they've provided background information on themselves to a company giving them personal information, they can check their credit reports immediately, put fraud alerts on them.
But students shouldn't stop there. They should go to the Better Business Bureau website and report the scam. This will help other job seekers in the future. John Dix, Fresno State Focus.
Coming up in sports, the results of our women's swim and dive team at their own Bulldog Invitational.
Plus, we'll meet the lacrosse team's newest assistant coach. Sports is next.
I am Fresno State, and I'm going to show you why. Here's the beautiful and newly constructed Henry Madden Library, which has a massive collection. The Save Mart Center, which is our sports venue and one of the best attended in the entire country. We're absolute pioneers in the agricultural sciences, having led to the production of the first university winery and drawing in a diversity of students to achieve academic success over the past 100 years. And you know, I wish I had time to tell you about everything else, but in reality, I think you're just going to have to come see for yourself.
I am, and always will be.
Welcome back to Fresno State Focus. Kylie Shea Aldridge is here with sports.
The lacrosse team has hired a new assistant coach for the 2014-2015 season. Meet Nicole Price. Price joins us from San Diego State, where she spent a year as their assistant coach and helped them to their first Mountain Pacific Sports Federation tournament appearance in program history. She is looking to bring some of that winning attitude to Fresno State.
Is eager to learn and get better, so I think just a focus on getting better every day and just building towards season is important.
Played 3 seasons of lacrosse herself at Mount St. Mary's. Head coach Jessica Poswang is excited to have her on the staff and knows she has a lot of knowledge to offer the young players. The men's basketball team recently started fall practice in preparation for the 2014-2015 season. The Bulldogs have 8 returners, one of them being Braden Anderson, a redshirt sophomore from Alberta, Canada. Braden is with us today to discuss how he, as an individual, is looking forward to this season. Thanks for being with us, Braden.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, so how's your team looking this year?
We're looking good. I think we're finally ready to see some of the fruits of our labor and Coach Terry being here for 3 years now. I think it takes some time to rebuild the program, and I think finally we're going to see some of the results that the Fresno State Bulldog fans have been looking to see.
That's awesome. So your story is a little bit different because of your accident last year. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, yeah. I got in a really bad car accident, and obviously it's one of those situations that you wouldn't wish on anybody. It was one of my kind of worst fears. Being in the hospital for more than 3 weeks is one of those things that you fear a little bit. But I was able to work through the rehab, and I'm just happy that I'm going to be able to play basketball again.
So how has that injury affected your outlook on the game? Like a little bit more excited to play, or are you a little bit nervous because you've been hurt recently?
A little bit. I mean, I'm obviously really, really excited to get back out there. The injury, I wouldn't say had a whole lot of an impact on my, just outlook towards the game. But it definitely made me a little bit more mentally tough, I think.
All right, so how did you use your time off the court when you said you were rehabbing to be able to get ready to play for this upcoming season? Were you taking a lot of notes mentally or anything like that on the sidelines?
Well, I think whenever you're out for that long of a period of time, you see the game in a different perspective. I tried to, Coach told me to try and be a coach, because I wasn't playing at all throughout the year. He wanted me to try and coach my guys up and see the game the way that the coaches see it. And I think I was able to do that, and I've been able to gain different perspective and different knowledge for the game than I had prior.
That's great. So what is the atmosphere of your team right now, getting ready for this upcoming season?
Guys are really, really excited. Coming off postseason play last year, I think guys got a little bit of a taste of winning. And when you get a taste, I think that's all that it really takes sometimes. You need to get a taste for winning and realize how much fun that is. And guys are going to be really excited to getting back to that point and hopefully further.
All right. Well, there you have it. Braden Anderson with an inside look into our men's basketball team. Looks like they're setting up for a great season. Thank you for coming by, Braden.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
The swim and dive team hosted San Jose State and the Air Force in the Bulldog Invitational over the weekend. Andrew Rich from GoBulldogs.com reported the Bulldogs won 4 events on Saturday to help them bring home a second-place team finish. The Dogs closed the meet with a win in the 400-meter freestyle relay. Leah Hachiyama, Lucy Titchen, Caitlin Britton, and Dana Jones swam just hard enough to edge San Jose State by a half second.
Having that last relay was just huge for us, just to finish the meet after 3 sessions and having a great swim like that. Really a great start for us, so we're really, really happy. We just had a great meet overall. The girls really fought for everything they did.
That's it for sports this week. Back to you.
What are the Halloween hotspots this year for Fresno? The Haunted Mansion Halloween party at the Standard, hosted also by Y101, will be having its annual costume party October 31st at 8 p.m. The Standard isn't the only costume party happening that night. HCK will also be throwing its Freak Show Halloween party. Students, if you plan on attending either of these parties, the tickets are now on sale. Fresno State student Derek Chen knows what he's doing for Halloween.
I'll be going to HCK for Halloween because the atmosphere is great, the drinks are even better. I always have a great time.
Fresno Fair is also holding a haunted forest if you like something a little more spooky. Don't miss out on these exciting Halloween events happening this month. So have you guys been to the Standard Halloween party yet, or HCK before or previous years?
I haven't. I've heard a lot about it though. Have you?
I went to the Standard one last year. I thought it was okay. There's, it was whatever.
I'm sure it'll be a good time.
Yeah. Next week on Fresno State Focus, find out where you can find anything from Fresno State wines to meats, produce, and more at a local pub and market.
Plus, the Central Valley's biggest geek convention will have gamers and comic readers joining together for a 2-day geek event.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.